The first step in graphing a rational function is to factor it completely, and this function just happens to already be factored. The x squared plus 9 is an irreducible quadratic. So we don't have any work to do there, so we're going to jump right into finding intercepts. For our x-intercepts, we find the zeros of the numerator. So we take x plus 1, set that equal to 0. Solving for x, we get x equals -1, and that has a multiplicity of 1 because of the exponent on that x plus 1. For our y-intercept, we just plug 0 into the function. So f of 0 equals, and that just gives us 1 over 9. For vertical asymptotes, we find the zeros of the denominator. And, well, x squared plus 9, that's an irreducible quadratic, so it never actually equals 0. If you try to solve for x here, you'd end up with a complex number. You'd have the square root of a negative. You'd have x equals plus or minus 3i. But those are not real numbers, so we don't have any vertical asymptotes. No vertical asymptotes. For horizontal asymptotes, we compare the degrees of the numerator and the denominator. The numerator has a degree that's less than the degree of the denominator, which means that our horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. And if you have a horizontal asymptote, then you know you do not have a slant asymptote. So now we're ready to start drawing. And this is, sorry, let me make that a straight line. This is kind of weird just because it's a rational function, but it doesn't have any vertical asymptotes. But we can start off the same way where we just plot the things that we do know. We know that we have a 0 at x equals -1. And we know our y-intercept is at 1/9. Okay, so that's a pretty small number there. We also know that we have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. That's just the axis. And then we need to sketch the graph. And there's not a lot to go off of this, but I know that I don't have different branches of the graph because I don't have any vertical asymptotes dividing my plane into different pieces. And so I know I have this point. And in order to find where this goes, well, I know that whatever it does do, it might go up. It's got to come down, and it's got to follow the horizontal asymptote. And I know that it has to cross here at -1, and that had a multiplicity of 1, so it's just going to go right through like a line would. Okay, but then again, it is going to have to turn around and follow the asymptote. So that's really all we can do with this graph. We don't know how high up it goes or how far down it goes. That's a topic for calculus. All we know is it goes through these 2 points and has to follow our horizontal asymptote.